This started with, we've been interested in sort of energy, metabolism, and, in some signaling pathways. So in my lab, we have been studying signaling pathways to understand what is actually going wrong in polycystic kidney disease so that we can, potentially do something about it. And I had one adventurous graduate student, a PhD grad student in my lab, who wanted to influence one of these signaling pathways by just feeding mice with PKD less food. So somehow he didn't really ask me about it, and he just did it, and did a feeding study. Reduced food intake by just essentially a very moderate amount. And then one day came to me and said, "Hey, I did this study, and it worked great," which it did. So surprisingly, so in these mice with polycystic kidney disease, the kidneys essentially didn't grow, or just a tiny bit, and there was no other really effect on these mice, right? So they were not malnourished; they were very, very healthy. So that got us thinking, what is going on there? So we published this paper essentially saying reducing food intake is very effective in mice with PKD, and we have no idea why. So then we started to try to work out, what are the pathways. And we discovered that that is really the ketosis that is important. So when we put mice or rats or even cats, if we treat them with dietary regimens that induce ketosis, it turned out to be very, very effective. So we can do this by time-restricted feeding or by ketogenic diets or even acute fasting, and saw very strong effects there. And interestingly, these beneficial effects could actually even be replicated by just supplementing them with the ketone BHB. That was a bit of a surprise. I wouldn't really have expected that as well.